My dear brother priests, I have a confession to make. These past weeks, I have been crying privately, and some of you have seen me cry also publicly. I cannot resist it. My heart bleeds, and the bleeding of the heart makes the eyes tear as well. Nakakaiyak yung ating pinagdadaanan, hindi lang bilang tao, kundi bilang pari, bilang mga Kristiyano na naniniwala sa Diyos. We weep because we are going through a very difficult time in the history of humanity, even in the history of the Church. Jesus also wept. He wept by the tomb of Lazarus. Why did Jesus weep? Sabi ni Saint Hippolytus, Jesus wept, but he did not mourn. He was not crying for Lazarus. He was not crying because somebody died. No. Because earlier the Lord said, this incident will lead to the glory of God. Sabi ni Saint Augustine, Jesus wept in order to teach us how to weep. So, what did the Lord teach us when He wept by the tomb of Lazarus? It is quite different from the way we weep. It is quite different from the reason why we weep. We weep because we feel helpless. We weep because we are afraid to die. We weep because we are afraid to get sick. We weep because we feel impotent in the face of this very powerful virus. The Lord did not cry because of these reasons. The Lord cried because Martha was crying. The Lord wept because Mary was weeping. What does it mean? The Lord teaches us to weep with those who weep, to rejoice with those who rejoice. The Lord teaches us that His weeping is because He wants to enter into our sufferings. He wants to enter into our misery. He wants to enter our pains. He wants to enter our woundedness. And in entering it, pour love into it, be the balm that will heal our pains, our sicknesses, our troubles, our anxieties. The demand that the times call for us is to weep with those who weep. My dear brother priests, to be hungry with those who are hungry, to cry with those who are weeping for their dead, to be anxious with those who are anxious, to be afraid with those who are afraid, because the anguish, the triumphs, the joys of humanity should be the joys and the triumphs of the Church, should be the joys and the triumphs, the anxieties and fears of every priest. Are we still capable of crying? Pope Francis reminded us of that at UST. A Christian who does not know how to cry is less a Christian. Even if we are weeping, another part of us is getting bored during this quarantine. How is that possible? We have so much access to many social media platforms, and we meet many interesting people on Facebook, and we are going through very interesting events. How come people are bored? This is something new. How come priests are bored? How come suddenly we don't know what to do? My dear brother priests, it is this. It is not enough that you meet interesting people. It is not enough that you are exposed to interesting things. Because if you just meet people and expose yourself to interesting things, you will really get bored. Ang importante ay maging interested sa tao. Importante ay maging interested sa mga pangyayari. Magkaiba yon. Yung interest ay merong interio and esse. Ang interio ay inside. Ang esse ay being. Ang ibig sabihin, to be interested in the being. Yung kalooban ng tao, yon ang ating binibigyan ng pansin. Kasi kapag hindi natin binibigyan ng pansin yung kabuuan, yung kalooban ng pagkatao, yung kabuuan, yung kalooban ng mga pangyayari, lalampas ang mga pangyayari na hindi tumatama sa atin. In fact, we can even get bored even if we are going through something that has never happened before. Why? Because we are not able to enter into the essence. Hindi tayo pumapasok dun sa kaloob-looban ng mga pangyayari. Bakit? Sapagkat hindi na tayo marunong lumuha. Hindi na tayo marunong makisangkot. Sapagkat lumamig na yung ating pagkatao, maligamgam na yung ating pagiging Kristiyano, at wala na tayong pakialam sa mga nangyayari. Basta maginhawa yung aking buhay, may kinakain ako. The antidote to boredom is to enter into one another's being and to allow the beingness of one another to enter into our souls. And looking eye to eye, heart to heart, mind to mind, pain to pain, joy to joy, we will be able to see that life is very interesting. That we do not even have to wait for the end of the quarantine. As it is now, if we can enter into the being of those who suffer, if we can enter into the hopes of those who are hoping for something better, if we can enter into the anxieties of those who are afraid, if we can enter into the tears of those who are mourning over their dead, if we can enter and then entering, find being, and being to being, kalooban sa kalooban, kaluluwa sa kaluluwa, magpalitan tayo at makikita natin, it is the Lord. Ang Panginoon ang kasama natin, Panginoon ang matatagpuan natin sa kalooban ng kapwa-tao, at Panginoong nasa ating kalooban ang ibibigay nila natin sa ating kapwa-tao. My dear brother, priests, that is the call of the times. Are you ready to weep with those who weep? Are you ready to teach the world how to weep again? Not for ourselves, but in communion, in entering into one another's tears, in entering into one another's fears, and crying with those who are sad. An example of interest, yung pagpasok sa kalooban, ay yung naganap sa mahal na birhen sa wedding sa Cana. They were with interesting people. It was an interesting event. Pero kahit maganda ang pangyayari, ang mahal na birhen ay pumasok doon sa kalooban ng bagong kasal at nakita niya ang nalalapit na kahihiyan kasi mauubusan ng alak. The wine is running out. The wine is a sign of joy. The wine is a sign of contentment. The wine is a sign of satisfaction. When we drink wine, we become happy. My dear brother priests, do you still have wine in your priesthood? Or has your wine, the sweetness of our ministry, gone dry? At hindi lang yon, anong naging kapalit nung matamis na alak na hindi na natin naiinom sa ating buhay bilang pare? Gadgets, properties, vehicles, travels. These are poor substitutes. Substitutes that do not taste sweet. They are temporary substitutes, bland substitutes. If you cannot cry anymore, and you're substituting bland things, bland water, ask Our Lady to help you feel again. Ask Our Lady to be more concerned again. Ask Our Lady to prick your hearts again, so that we may learn how to weep, we may learn how to cry, we may learn how to laugh with those who laugh, to rejoice with those who rejoice. It is a time for weeping, but it is also a time for reaching out. Let us enter into the pains of our parishioners, and let not those pains be far away from us. And if feelings are gone, and if you're afraid to weep, if you're afraid to cry, ask Our Lady, "Dear Mother, you saw that there was no wine. Now I have run out of wine. I am not feeling anymore. I am just being a functional person. Help me to feel again. Help me to cry again. Help me to be like Jesus, your Son. Because it is only in being like Jesus that I can be the priest that the world needs right now."